Hey guys, before we get into the episode of the podcast, I want to give a quick shout out to the nonprofit organization Leadership Initiative, specifically Team 1007. They are a group of people my age, teenagers, raising money for poor communities in Nigeria. So if you want to donate to them, please click the link in my description and check them out. Thank you so much. And by the way, they're not sponsoring me. They're not giving me money in any way or shape or form. So just check them out in the link below. And thank you, and enjoy the episode of the podcast. Bye. Ladies and gentlemen, you are listening to the Upshift podcast, the podcast that is all about Formula Racing. Today, I know we're a little bit late to this issue here, but I'm just going to talk about it anyway. But if you don't know, Sebastian Vettel will make his 2021 debut at Aston Martin F1 team. Now, this is very important because where will Sergio Perez go? Because he will be replacing Sergio Perez. So it'll be Sebastian Vettel and Lance Stroll over at Aston Martin. But let's just dive into what all happened. To understand what really went down, we have to go back a few years, actually, to 2010. This was the age of dominance for Sebastian Vettel and Red Bull Racing. Sebastian Vettel won his first ever Drivers' World Championship, and I'm pretty sure that they won the Constructors' World Championship too. This started a trend of Red Bull winning 4 consecutive world drivers titles in a row from 2010, 2011, 2012, and 2013. And Sebastian looked untouchable. He looked like he was going to win until who knows how long. But then 2014 rolled around, and that started the age of dominance for Mercedes. Lewis Hamilton ended up winning the entire world championship, and to Red Bull it was a lackluster season, not winning the drivers championship, because they were kind of used to winning all these championships, but unfortunately it would never come back to them. And then at the end of 2014, it was announced that Sebastian Vettel was going to leave Red Bull to Ferrari at the end of 2014. In 2015, he made his Ferrari debut, and he was good. I believe he won in Turkey his first Grand Prix for Ferrari. Malaysia, I think, actually. He won his first Grand Prix for Ferrari, and he did pretty good. They were obviously seeking a driver's championship that they didn't get in a little bit, obviously, from Sebastian and then Lewis, and they expected them to win the drivers championship, and that never really came to fruition. And fast forward to now, a few months ago, it was announced that Sebastian would be leaving Ferrari. Everyone was kind of surprised by this, because Sebastian didn't seem to do much wrong. He didn't seem to it wasn't reported to have any problems with the team. Of course, he had some iffy moments last year with stuff like Russia, where he didn't let his teammate through, Charles Leclerc, when he was supposed to. Obviously, Brazil, that was just horrible when they collided. And it was just announced, and apparently they didn't even offer Sebastian a contract, so they never really wanted him. So Carlos Sainz signed, and everyone was like, where will he go? Where will he sign? Because he doesn't have a seat for 2021. And then people started to say, maybe Aston Martin. Racing Point right now will rebrand to Aston Martin. Like, maybe Aston Martin, maybe Renault, because they had a seat open at the time. That was obviously filled by Fernando Alonso now. Maybe like a lower midfield team, like Alpha, maybe, to go along Giovinazzi or Kimi Räikkönen. And that never really came to fruition either. And it seemed more and more like Sebastian just wasn't going to get a seat. And then one day, Sergio Perez sent out a tweet saying thank you to everyone at Racing Point, and he was leaving Racing Point. He said it wasn't really his decision to leave Racing Point, but it was just something that would happen. And everyone was kind of saddened by this, because if Sebastian was going to sign to Aston Martin, people really wanted it to be Stroll out, because Stroll's not really the better of the two drivers. Sergio Perez is definitely the better of the two drivers. But we all know that Lawrence Stroll runs the team, and he wouldn't allow that to happen to his son. So Sebastian signed for Aston Martin for 2021 and onwards. Was this a good decision? Only time will tell, really. I do think it's a good decision for Sebastian, because it doesn't seem like anybody else would sign him, and they are a growing team. They're doing decently well. I definitely think 2019 was their worst year in the past few years, but they're growing. They just got a podium in Monza. That was a special occasion. But it's still a podium. They definitely have pace, and now the rebrand to Aston Martin, we'll see how that improves them. But the big question now is, what will happen to Perez? People are saying maybe he goes to somewhere like Mercedes and gets a reserve driver seat to tuck in until one of them retires, and then swoop in with maybe George Russell. That doesn't seem like it's going to happen. Maybe Haas. That also doesn't really seem to be happening. And people are like, Alfa Romeo, Sauber, because it's his former team. It makes perfect sense to go there. And it did make good sense. But then people are saying he will replace Kimi Räikkönen, maybe join Antonio Giovinazzi or someone else. But it doesn't seem that way, because it was announced that Kimi Räikkönen will be signed on for next year as well at Alfa Romeo. And it seems like there are reports coming out from Alfa that they're not going to sign Perez. He's not really in their list anymore. It's really Hülkenberg, Mick Schumacher, and Callum Ilott, and maybe Robert Schwartzman. That seems to be their list, and it doesn't seem that Perez is in that list anymore. So will he get a 2021 seat? Will he take a hiatus kind of thing? Will he move to America and try his hand at IndyCar, which a bunch of reports are coming out that he will do? I don't know. I do hope that he gets a seat for 2021, because it would be kind of weird to see him without a 2021 seat and him not being in F1. It would definitely be weird. And also Otmar Szafnir, I didn't get that. I'm sorry to everyone in F1 who I cannot pronounce their names. I tried to pronounce that. I can't. I'm sorry. So team principal Otmar, I'm not going to say your last name because people will be offended, said, everybody at Silverstone is hugely excited by this news. Sebastian is a proven champion and brings a winning mentality that matches our own ambitions for the future of Aston Martin F1 team. On Saturday or Sunday afternoon, Sebastian is one of the best in the world, and I can't think of a better driver to help take us into this new era. He will play a significant role in taking this team to the next level. Is that really a true statement? Is he the best person to take into this entire era of their new team, their rebranding? I don't think so. I don't think he's the best person. I definitely think he's a really good driver. Don't get me wrong. He is an amazing driver. If he gets everything right, he doesn't make mistakes, he doesn't make bad decisions, and he just he's just himself on the track. If he's in that mentality, he's one of the best drivers on the grid. But he hasn't really shown it this year. He's been completely outperformed by Charles Leclerc in the same machinery, but he just hasn't shown the pace that I think Aston Martin want. I feel like this is more of a pressure situation, that people want Sebastian to be in that Aston Martin seat, and they just signed him due to that. I'm not saying it's definitely that, but I feel like that's a possibility, because I think Sergio Perez in that car will be better than Sebastian. Obviously, I might be wrong. I'll be happily proven wrong. But I definitely think that Sebastian Vettel isn't better than Perez in that seat. Because Perez has shown time and time again that he can completely outperform that car. Like Azerbaijan in 2018, this year a couple of times, even though he did have a broken front wing in Styria, he had an amazing performance. He was about to catch Albon until he had a bunch of he had oversteer and then broke his front wing. He had a good race. He was about to get P4, and he has pace in that car. But to kick him out like that is just, I feel like, is a bit of a betrayal kind of thing that I talked about earlier in the podcast, a couple episodes earlier. It's kind of he built this team. He saved this team. And if you guys don't know, he basically saved Racing Point when they were Force India, where they went into administration and they were about to just completely shut down. He helped save that team. He got 5 out of their 6 podiums, actually 5 out of their 7 podiums now, and it's just not really fair to him that he is just kind of kicked out of this team. And he said it's not really his decision at the end of the day. He didn't agree to it at all. He just kind of was notified, hey, you're not on the team anymore. So it's definitely heartbreaking for him to see him getting just kicked out of the team. And we'll see where he goes. I think that Haas is really his only option right now in F1, but we will see what will happen. If you guys enjoyed this episode of the podcast, please like, share, and subscribe. Share this with friends and family. Follow me on Instagram at the UpshiftCast. Follow me on Twitter at the UpshiftCast. Follow me on Facebook at Zaki Beauchamp, and subscribe to the YouTube channel at Upshift Podcast. The T in Upshift is a 1 because of Formula 1. And thank you guys so much for I think 1,200 views now. Thank you guys for helping me grow this channel. You guys are the best. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great day. Goodbye.